The cops are leaving for places where it's easier to be a cop, where a town that expects a little law and order, they're smaller, there's more closer-knit relationship between the citizens and the council, and the town wants to stay the way they are, comfortable places where you can go for a walk and go home without being accosted by sluggards, right? So they're here in Maine. There's plenty, but there's several cities in Maine that we have got a population of people that want to drink, drug, live on the street, and have no ramifications for whatever they do. So cops are leaving. Sluggards. Yeah.
Sorry, but just a quick sidebar. Where does that rank in between, say, a scofflaw or a miscreant?
I think a sluggard would be less criminally tuned. A sluggard would be just someone who doesn't want to do a lot. But I think a miscreant is taking it to the next level. And if you get to, what was the other one? What's my other S word? Criminal intent.
Scofflaw.
A scofflaw would be under 25. I believe a scofflaw needs to be a younger person who doesn't shave and probably doesn't work all the time. Scofflaw.
What about a rapscallion?
A rapscallion would be someone under 18 who still has a parent that will, put the wood to them in a situation. Yo, you little rapscallion, you might give them a quick, tap.
Right.
A loving tap. So rapscallions, I think, are younger than that. I think it's an age thing.
Right. And rascals would be even,
Me,
I
I'm
guess,
a
younger
sluggard.
still. Yeah. I mean, you had the little rascals, the young
Rascals
sluggers.
That's why they're little.
Rascals don't have a pistol. Okay, rascals would not be armed.
Rascals are not armed.
Okay, you're a rascal. You cannot carry. Okay, maybe a slingshot. Something with some small stones.
What about a shitheel?
A shitheel would.
That's just a typical walk through L.A. these days because there's shit everywhere.
Yeah, isn't that sad that we've accepted duty on the on the walk? I mean, in Maine, you're in trouble if you head into the woods with a cup. You drop your Subaru off at the parking area, and if someone sees you crap in a hole and don't bury it right, they're upset. Can you imagine walking down the street and just stepping in it? I can't.
I just heard that part of the reason that we're seeing more of it is because we did away with plastic bags at grocery stores. Like a lot of people had the good sense to crap in a plastic bag and throw it somewhere. But now that they've eliminated plastic bags and you got to use a paper bag, well, a paper bag doesn't hold the crap.
It just wasn't made for
hashtag
crap,
just saying.
Chuck. It really wasn't. That's not.
I hadn't thought of that, but I like someone that carries their crap with them. But we accept plastic bags if you do it for a dog. If you pick up for a dog, everybody thinks plastic's okay. We pick up after our dogs in plastics, but we can't even let our Americans crap in a plastic bag. Think about the injustice done to people. My gosh.
Tim, I'm tempted to say that even though in a situation like this, even though you have retired, you're still on duty.
Yeah. Duty.
Let it sit for a second,
beautiful.
Tim.
Sometimes you got to let the art wash over you.
Right on over
Let the duty. Just bring the duty. We did have a situation. I didn't write about it and got warrants because the garage owner would be upset. But I'm not working in town anymore. My check's coming one way or the other. We had a fellow that opened a nice little garage. This is fantastic. Back in the day when you went to a garage, do you remember you'd pull in, they're washing your windshield, a little rag in the back pocket, they're nice to your mother. You pee in a place, you use a key 7 feet long, and outside were stacks of rubber tires. New tires, Tiger Paws, Goodyears, you had it all. It was a display of rubber in all its glory. Guess what happened? Well, the folks that walked by there decided, you know what? That's a good place to crap. Because you're sitting on top of the throne, and they're leaving their waste in the center. No one sees it. If you're sitting on it, no one can tell if your pants are down. No one cares. Look at that fellow just resting on some tires. Well, he's really taking a dump. And so the fellow called us and said, I can't take it. Every day I sell a set of tires. I sold a set yesterday. I pick them up. There's 4 loads of human excrement in the center, and some of it, my guys are putting the tires on the cars. There's smear. It doesn't go. They do go on smoother, but they smell bad, right? You don't even need the lubricant to go on the rim. I'm really sorry, man. This is horrible. He's like, I don't want this getting in the got warrants thing. I said, okay, yeah, I'll give you that. Because it could cut down on his tire sales, right? I mean,
I'll tell you what else happens. You sell a number of tires like that, and then you have people applying brakes in a normal way. What you're going to wind up with is a very serious skid mark. Thank you again.
God,
I can't be
you're
stopped.
on fire today.
I'm 2 for 2. Always on duty and a new kind of skid mark. These titles are coming fast and furious.
Man, duty on a title. So, yeah. Now, the plastic bag thing is a great point, and I hadn't really thought of it.
Tim Cotton, king of the world.
Yes, sir.
You're in charge right now in your retirement. What is a fair and just punishment for crapping in public?
Can I get a couple details here? As a legislator would have to do, well, has their genitalia showed? Because there's another crime there. If that was flashed, some part of their running gear happened to be showing, then the crime is steeper. So if you're just taking a crap, exposure, right? If people are offended by the sight of your twig and berries or something else, there's two crimes there. But crapping in public should be at least a $200 fine. And if you cleaned it up, you take $50 off. You still crapped in public, but if you cleaned it up, it was like a $150. I think that would be a fair punishment.
I think you got to do like you do when you train the dog and you stick their nose in it.
I think we have to go to a different place, Tim. Back to consequences. Back to some kind of justice that would truly satisfy that which is fundamentally broken in our society. We need to see video that is a counterbalance to this unmitigated thievery that's closing down multiple Walgreens here in my neighborhood.
You guys both do know that physicality is the issue. And it's odd that I would say, let's fine them for taking a dump. But I've also realized that there is no physical punishment that ever occurs anymore. It used to be jail was a horrible place, right? But there's no ramification for doing anything that I grew up, if I do that, I'm going to get hurt. Right, there would be pain. Now, people are going to say, you can't spank, you can't, whatever. Listen, a spank given in love, properly meted out, changed my life, right? It changed my destiny. So, as a guy, and they go, well, they obviously made you violent. That's why you became a cop and want to hurt people. Okay, no, I don't want to hurt people, but I also don't want to hurt, right? I don't want to hurt. And so I realize there's pain. When you burn yourself on a stove, you stop touching the stove, right? I'm not saying we need to physically pummel people with bamboo.
Canings.
I thought you'd go there.
Now you're getting somewhere.
I think there's got to be something.
What about the crap in the goose thing? What if you physically push the crap back into the perpetrator? Is that too much?
But is that a punishment?
Yes.
Isn't that a punishment for some? It's more of a punishment for me.
For who has to dole it out.
The installer. Or the reinstaller, as it were.
I'm just talking from the point of view for a moment of the viewer. What do I want to see? I want to see cops with rubber gloves pushing the poop back into the perp. That, to me, it's not going to make everything better, but it would satisfy something. Chuck, you remember, and Tim, I'll just consider this a pitch. If you ever come to Hollywood, this is the kind of thing you're going to hear from people like me. Okay. I saw a guy on the Golden Gate Bridge a couple years ago throw a big gulp out of his window. We were stopped in traffic, right? And I just was having one of those days. I got out of my car, I walked over, I picked up the big gulp, and I handed it to him. I said, here, you dropped something. And we had that awkward moment where I thought, you know what, he's going to throw this at me, or there's going to, but he looks at me and he goes, hey, man, you're that guy from Dirty Jobs. And we laughed and everything was fine. But on the walk back to my car,
he would have shot me.
He would have shot you.
That's not going to work for everybody, unfortunately.
Instead, he asked me for an autograph, thereby avoiding fisticuffs. But that's beside the point. The point is, inspiration washed over me moments later, and I realized what should have happened right there was an episode of a show called Singapore Justice, where a cop gets this guy and says, look, I got you on film. What you just did was you littered on a national monument. The fee for this quadruples. You're going to get a ticket right now for $1,000, or you're going to sign a release, you're going to step out of your vehicle, you're going to drop your pants, and Wanda here is going to take this cane, and you hear it stick through the air, and 5 whacks. And you sign this release.
Please tell me it's Wanda Sykes.
Wanda Sykes comes out, Tim Cotton gives her a rattan cane, and this guy agrees to not only get 5 whacks on his ass, but to be filmed in it for an episode of Singapore Justice in exchange for not having to pay the fine.
I would take that. I would take that over $1,000. I would take a caning. Just 5 whacks.
I'd take 5 whacks over.
I'd take 5 whacks rather than spend $1,000.
And I would watch that show.
I'd watch that show, and then I'd let you shove the poop back up my butt. I don't care. For that kind of entertainment,